They say debt is a weight. If that's true, I've been drowning for as long as I can remember. Not the kind of debt you think of, not student loans or credit card bills. No, this debt was personal, crushing, like a shadow that grew longer every time I tried to escape it. I owed him. The kind of owing that kept me up at night. 500 denarii. 500. More money than I'd ever seen in one place, let alone held in my hands. I don't even remember how it started. A favor here, a little help there, and suddenly the number had grown into something unpayable. He was kind enough at first, but over time, the weight of what I owed him poisoned everything. Every interaction, every look, every word. I avoided him when I could, but he always found me. Debt has a way of doing that. Then there was the other guy. His debt was smaller, 50 denarii. It wasn't nothing, but compared to me, he was practically free. I hated him for it, even though he'd never done anything to me. He had the luxury of imagining he could pay his debt someday. I didn't. The day it all came to a head, we were both called before him. My stomach churned as I stood there, waiting for the judgment I knew was coming. Would he take everything? My home, my family, my life? The silence stretched so long, I thought I might collapse under it. But then he said something I'll never forget. Neither of you can pay, he said, looking at both of us. So I'm canceling the debts. Both of them. I'm not proud of what I felt in that moment. Relief, yes, but also something darker. Resentment. Why should he get off so easy? His debt was so small compared to mine. 500 to 50. It wasn't fair. My burden had been so much heavier. Shouldn't my forgiveness mean more? Shouldn't I be celebrated, pitied, something? Instead, it felt like we were suddenly equals, like the magnitude of what I'd been forgiven was erased by the fact that he was forgiven too. I stewed on it for days, weeks. I wanted to confront him, demand he acknowledge how much greater my forgiveness was. But then it hit me like a punch to the gut. I had missed the point entirely. It wasn't about the numbers. It wasn't about who owed more or less. It was about grace. Undeserved, unearned, overwhelming grace. We both stood before him with empty hands, and he chose to set us free. My debt didn't define me anymore, and neither did his. That realization broke me. I'd been given a gift beyond comprehension, and I almost let my pride ruin it. We're all debtors, every single one of us. The numbers might look different, but the weight is the same. And grace doesn't measure. It just forgives. Now when I see him, the other debtor, I feel something new. Not resentment, but solidarity. We were both set free, and that's all that matters. Because in the end, it's not about what you owe. It's about who cancels the debt.